Good evening, America. I am Luke Roman and this is Elizabeth Turner from Channel 1 News.
It's good to be with you this evening. Tonight we are continuing our homicide series with a special report.
Homicide is a major issue in the United States. For the last few months, we have been breaking down homicide into multiple segments.
The first interview is with a gentleman who had a psychopharmacological reason. This means he killed while high. The second interview is with an individual who committed murder due to economic compulsion, meaning he killed to get money for drugs. The final interview is with an individual who committed homicide due to the systematic nature of the drug market and it was a drug exchange gone wrong.
Here are the interviews now.
We are talking to Jerry, a man who has found a life of recovery during his time at Hayes State Prison in Tryon, Georgia. He is serving a life sentence without parole. So, Jerry, I know it is difficult for you to talk about, but will you please describe what happened the day your wife died?
Sure, Elizabeth. It was a chilly fall night in 1999. I had been using a lot of cocaine and had been drinking a lot. I had been on a bender for a week and had not been home. I had been kicked out of numerous bars and had nowhere to go, so I went home. My wife was very upset when I got home and we had a huge fight. I was really messed up. I was in and out of a blackout during the whole ordeal. She slapped me and I blew up. I grabbed a knife from the kitchen and stabbed her repeatedly. This is something I would have never have done sober. We had a great relationship when I wasn't using. However, the drugs made me a different person. It is something I will always regret.
Please continue.
I sobered up the next morning and saw what I did and I called the police and turned myself in.
Thanks for the honesty with your story, Jerry.
I just want to get my story out there. Maybe someone who is a similar situation will hear my story and possibly seek help from Alcoholics Anonymous or something similar and sober up. Hopefully, my story will help an addict see your addiction can take you and help them stop before they end up in prison.
Thanks again, Jerry. Now, we are going to send it over to Luke, who is with Robert.
Next, we have Robert. He is currently serving 2 life sentences at Hayes State Prison for murder and aggravated robbery. Hello, Robert. Do you mind giving us a brief description of what happened the night you got arrested?
No sir, I don't mind. Anyway, I was a bad heroin addict and started going through withdrawals when I ran out and felt horrible. I had to get more. I was living in downtown Atlanta at the time and I saw this elderly couple, dressed up nice and going out to dinner. I knew they would have money. So, I ran up to rob them but they resisted and started screaming. I didn't know what to do, so I shot them both and took their money. I took their lives for only $60. Yet, at the time it was enough to get my fix. I deeply regret it, yet, it shows how big a man's drug addiction can be.
How did you get caught?
This was in downtown and there was a lot of witnesses. A few people gave my description to the police and within a week, they found me.
Thanks for the honesty, Robert. Now back to you, Elizabeth.
This is our final interview of the evening. This is Pablo, a self-proclaimed drug lord. He is doing a life sentence for murder here at Hayes. Hello, Pablo. How are you?
Not good. I am in prison and never getting out. I just did this interview to get out of myself for a little while.
Well, I really appreciate your help with this documentary. Will you tell us what happened?
Well, like you were saying, I was a big-time drug dealer. I was importing anything from marijuana to cocaine and distributing it. I was trying to branch out my sales and met a guy from Baltimore, who wanted a large quantity of cocaine. I usually didn't do business with people I didn't know, but I guess greed took over my head and I made bad decisions. I went to meet the guy to sell him the coke. That's when he pulled a gun on me and tried to rob me. I gave him the product and as he was running away I shot him in the back. I don't think he knew I was strapped. Little did I know, the police heard the gunshot and came before I could get away. It was easily the worst night of life. The drug game beat me that night. If I learned one thing, it is you can't beat the drug game. Sometimes you may find success but you will never win.
Thanks a lot for sharing that with us, Pablo.
These interviews show the menace drugs can be and how drugs stem to different kinds of homicide.
It was great to see the honesty of these gentlemen. We will see you back next week when we discuss juvenile homicide and the debate on their incarceration versus rehabilitation. Have a good night, America. We will see you next time on Channel 1 News.